Travelers going to Malawi who do need a visa, such as US passport holders, UK passport holders, Canadian, and many other passport holders, can get their eVisa ahead of time, and you can do so by applying through their official website, which I've linked in the description below. If you do need help with your application and you want to pay somebody to do it, I also have further information in the description below. So to get started, we're here on the official website, and so you can see the screen does change quite quickly. And so where it says welcome to eVisa service, go ahead and click on apply for eVisa. Like I said, it's a bit quick. And so here on this page, you just need to log in if you already have an account. If you don't yet have an account, it's very easy to set up. Just one thing I do want to bear in mind about the Malawi eVisa is that this is priced in US dollars, and there are several fees associated with it. So when I did the application, I found that it was $50 for a single entry visa, and then there was a further surcharge for the service fee, an additional fee for paying by card. There is no way to pay by cash. It has to be paid by card. And so you'll see that towards the end on the payment page. If you do want to pay in your preferred currency, you would need to use a third-party service like the one I've mentioned, and that information is in the description below. And so if you do have login details, go ahead and log in. If you need to create an account, go ahead and click on register in the lower right-hand corner of the screen. Here, you're going to input your full name, your email address. Make sure that this is going to be an email address that you have access to. Make sure it's also spelled correctly because your visa for Malawi is going to be emailed to that email address. Then input a password, confirm your password, and then you need to enter in your mobile number. If I click on where it says ISD, it's going to give me all the different country codes. And if you just scroll on down, select whichever one is your country, you then select it and then go ahead and input the number. Next, you've got that CAPTCHA. Once you've entered that, go ahead and click register. You'll receive your registration email immediately. Go ahead and check your inbox, make sure it's there. Check your spam, it could be there too. I received mine instantly. And then in the email, it's going to ask you to verify your email. Once you click on that, it's going to take you to this page to thank you for confirming your account. And then go ahead and click here to log in. And so once you're back to that login screen, put in your email address used to create your account, the password, and input that CAPTCHA. And then once you're ready, go ahead and click login. This page shows your dashboard. And so basically all of your information is going to be here. You can either start your new eVisa application, you can review previous applications, you can also check your payment history, change your password, all the things you might need to do for your eVisa application. But to get started for a brand new one, we're going to click on new eVisa application. It's that green button on the left-hand side. And so once you click the button to start a new application, it's going to pop up with this important notes section. You'll see here the supporting documentation is super important. So make sure you do check that your passport and your passport style photo do meet their requirements. They don't want photographed pictures of your passport, nor do they want photos of a photo. They want these documents scanned in. So you can see here that the photo must be in color. It should not be older than 6 months. Your facial expression must be neutral with no reflection on your face. They will not accept your photo cropped from your passport page. The background should be uniform. I would say doing it against a white wall would work. Your visa application may be rejected if the uploaded photo is not per their specification. And so if I scroll here, and you can see here, that's the passport photo size that they're looking for. And those dimensions are in centimeters. And if we scroll here for the passport requirement, your machine readable zone, that's that bottom of that passport that has those little arrow looking things with your name and some details and numbers in that needs to be clearly visible. You cannot crop that. You need to have that in your upload. Your passport data page must show all information and the photograph of the applicant. And that's another important point. Each person does need their own application, including children. So you will need to make another application if you have anybody else in your family going. They also note that if any portion of the passport data page is not clear, then the application may be rejected. And if your passport copy is tilted, skewed, or blurred, then your application may also be rejected. The data page must be scanned and uploaded straight as shown below in the example. You can see here, this is exactly what they're looking for. This is just a demo, but that's what they're looking for. They want to be able to clearly read your entire passport copy. And so if we scroll down here, it's just talking about the different visa categories. In this demonstration, I'm going to be doing a single entry tourist visa. Those are valid from 3 months from the date of issue and can only be used once. Just bear that one in mind. I know a lot of people like to apply for their visas super early, get them out of the way. That's not going to work here. You do need to make sure that your visa is going to be valid for when you travel, because like I said, that visa is going to be valid from the date of issue. So if you scroll on down, you just make sure you read everything, you're good to go, then go ahead and click agree. And so the first question is going to be your nationality. Go ahead and click on please select and then scroll down and find your nationality. Alternatively, you can type. Next, it's going to ask for the visa type. Go ahead and select from the different options. In this demonstration, I'm going to be doing a single entry. Next, it's going to ask the type of travel document. Ordinary passport is going to be the option. And then they're going to start asking a couple of more questions like the purpose of travel. In this case, I'm going to go for tourism, so I'll select tourism. Next, they want my expected date of entry and my date of departure. So in this demonstration, I'm just going to pick a random date. Next, click check visa requirements. And you see here, this is going to give you a breakdown of everything that you need. As you can see in this demonstration, I'm doing a British passport, single entry with an ordinary passport. My travel document needs to be valid for at least 180 days. That's going to be from when I'm in Malawi, not from today. They're going to want to make sure that your passport has enough validity. If you're going through South Africa, they're definitely going to be checking for that. And you need at least 2 blank pages for your visa. Processing time shows it's going to be 5 days. I would take that to mean business days, not calendar days. The fee, it shows that it's $50 US. And like I mentioned earlier, there are a couple of other fees tacked on. If you do want to pay in your preferred currency, like pounds, Canadian dollars, euros, whatever, there is that third party I mentioned. They're going to charge you a service fee. But like I said, there is an option in the description below for somebody to do this visa application for you. Next are the documents required. That recent photograph I mentioned, passport copy. Next, they want a covering letter from your host in Malawi, and it must be signed. Covering letter from the agent or accommodation booking. If you've booked with a safari specialist, they can certainly help you with that. If you've booked this independently, chat to your hotel to see if they can write up a letter for you. Next pertains to minors. They're going to need a birth certificate, also their passport details, form of consent, and you can click there to download it if you need it, and a document proof of legal guardianship if not the natural parent and that applicant is a minor. Once you're ready, go ahead and click on that little box that's within that yellow box towards the bottom. Clicking that box is just confirming you understand and agree to the terms and conditions. There are a few other bits in there. Just bear in mind this visa is non-refundable. And then once you're ready, go ahead and click next. Here on this page, they just want your travel details. You're going to input any previous visits to Malawi and where you stayed. And then they want to know about your upcoming trip. So what is your mode of transport to entry ports? So this could be air, rail, road, or water. And then they want to know the details of the entry carrier. So this could be the airline, for example, and then your port of entry. And you can see the different options here. And if we scroll on down, so here they want to know the amount of money you're going to spend in Malawi. I would factor in whatever you're budgeting for souvenirs, any local purchases, things like that. And applying for, who is doing this application? Is it yourself? Is somebody applying for you on your behalf? Just select whichever one works for you. And then after your visit, will you return to your country of residence? Yes or no. They also want to know the reference and address of the place you're visiting in Malawi and the contact number. So this information should be on your host letter that you got from your accommodation. If you're not sure, you can also Google the address and the contact number. Or if you have a contact, just ask them. Next is, have you ever been denied entry? This is going to be Malawi. If you do select yes, they're going to want more information. Have you ever been granted a visa before in Malawi? If you select yes, it's going to ask you for your last issued visa number. Have you been deported before? Do you have any criminal records? And the countries you visited for the past 6 months, go ahead and list those. And then they want to know your next destination after Malawi. If you select there, just then go ahead and select the country you're going to next. They also want to know how many people are traveling together in your group. And they also want to know the tourist attractions you're going to be visiting. And what are you traveling in on? What they're asking is basically, how did you organize this trip? Is it a package tour? Is it a prepaid trip? Or are you an independent traveler who's booked everything independently? And then the trip was arranged through, mention the name of the tour operator or travel agent. And then the next few questions are not required, but if you have the information to fill them in, go ahead and do that. Otherwise, go ahead and click next. On this page, they just want your information. So just answer everything as truthfully as possible and any details as per your passport. And then scroll on down, enter in your contact details. They also want to know what your present address is, including the country, as well as your permanent address. And again, they want to know your destination in Malawi. Once you're ready, go ahead and click next. And here on this page, you're going to want to upload those required documents. Pay attention to the maximum size allowed. It's right there on the screen. And pay attention to the file types that are accepted. So the first one is asking for your photograph. This is going to be that passport style photo. Go ahead and select file. And then if you scroll on down, you'll see the add passport copy. That's the bio page. You're also able to upload that covering letter. And then once you do select those files and they're uploading, you'll see that it asks you to then physically upload them again. And then it'll take like a second or two to make sure everything scans through. If it doesn't, it'll tell you. Once you're ready, go ahead and click next. And so on this page, you just need to review your application, make sure everything is correct. It's good to go. You're happy with it. And if you do need to make changes, you can go back. And so if it is correct, you're ready to go ahead and confirm that you understand that and then click next. On this page, it's just showing the amount that's going to be owed, and you're going to input your billing address before you're taken to the actual page where you're going to input your card details. Now, I mentioned earlier that the single entry visa was $50 and I did mention some extra fees involved. But after you input your billing address, go ahead and click on continue for payment. This is the page where you're going to input your credit card details. Again, you can see there that the cost of the visa went up again. This is a transaction fee. And so once you put in your card number and you click pay, I would also make a note of your application reference. You can come back to your portal. You can check the status of your visa within your portal. You can also check any payment receipts if you want proof of those. You will get an email about the status update of your visa. I would recommend printing out a few copies of your visa just to have some as a backup. You will be showing these to immigration officials as well as the airline, and that's it. It's that easy.